Hey foodies, and welcome back to Cooking with Kiana. So today I'm going to be showing you guys how to make one of my favorites, stuffed shells. This recipe is super easy and it's so delicious and it packs a ton of flavor. So let me introduce these ingredients and then we can get right into this recipe. So for this recipe, you'll need 1.5 pounds of Italian sausage, 2 ounces of spinach, 4 ounces of cheese. I'm using a mixture of mozzarella, Parmesan, and cheddar cheese, 12 ounces of ricotta cheese, 1 jar of spaghetti sauce. Now I'm going to be using Ragu for this recipe just because I want this recipe to be super easy. 1 onion, 5 garlic cloves, garlic and pepper seasoning, complete seasoning, Italian seasoning, black pepper, and crushed red pepper. All right, so first I'm going to start off by chopping up a medium-sized onion. And guys, you do want to make sure you cut these up very small because they are going to be going inside of the stuffed shells. And obviously you don't want any big chunks. So once I'm done chopping that up, we are going to repeat those same steps with the garlic. So I'm just going to make sure I chop this in small pieces as well. But what I like to do is I like to crush this with the back of my knife. And what that does is not only does it make it easier for me, but it releases a little bit of that sulfur. So the garlic flavor could be even stronger. So once I'm done with that, you want to set that aside. And then you want to get you a medium-sized skillet and put that heat on like medium to low. Then I'm going to add a tablespoon of butter. Let that melt. Once that has melted, I'm going to add in the onion and the garlic. And I'm just going to keep stirring this until it becomes translucent, which will probably take you around 2 to 3 minutes. So at this point, you want to add in your Italian sausage and you want to make sure you squeeze it out of that casing. That is very important. Now, if you guys don't feel like doing this step, you can always get you some ground Italian sausage and you don't have to worry about taking it out of the casing. So at this point, you want to go in with a fork or a spatula and you just want to make sure you get out all of those big clumps. You want this sausage to resemble ground beef. And let me tell you, this sausage is going to give this stuffed shells way more flavor than ground beef ever could. All right, so let's get into these seasonings. So I'm just going to add about 1/2 teaspoon of garlic and pepper seasoning. Then I'm going to go in with a teaspoon of complete seasoning and a teaspoon of red pepper flakes. Then we're just going to give everything a good mix. So now I'm going to add in about 2 ounces of fresh spinach. I like to use fresh spinach instead of frozen spinach because frozen spinach has a lot of water and we do not want the stuffing to be soggy. Now you just want to keep stirring this until it starts to wilt. Once it has wilted and it's all cooked out like this, you want to make sure you turn off your fire so you do not overcook the spinach. Now once you have turned off your fire, you want to let this cool for at least 15 to 20 minutes. Once that has cooled down, we are going to add in 12 ounces of ricotta cheese. Then I'm just going to add in some more herbs and seasonings. So I'm going to go in with 1 teaspoon of Italian seasoning and 1 teaspoon of black pepper. And then we're just going to mix everything until that is well incorporated. And then we're going to add in those cheeses. As you can see, these stuffed shells are going to be super creamy, cheesy, meaty, and they're just going to be so flavorful. So now I'm going to add in 2 ounces of cheese. I'm going to be using a mixture of mozzarella and cheddar cheese. And of course, we're going to mix this until that is well combined as well. Once that is well combined, we are going to set that aside so we can prepare these shells. So in a large pot, we are going to bring water to a boil. And we're going to make sure we add a little bit of butter and salt in there. And we are going to cook these for half of the time that it says on the package. You have to keep in mind that these are going in the oven, so you just want to make sure you don't overcook these. You also want to make sure you stir these every so often so they don't stick together. All right, so once we're done with that, we're going to drain that, let that cool off, and then we can get started with making these stuffed shells. So the first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to add a generous amount of Ragu sauce to the bottom of my pan, and I'm just going to make sure that it's spread across evenly. I'm going to go ahead and show y'all how I stuff these shells if you guys don't already know. You literally just take that stuffing and put it inside of the shell. And that's it. Like I said, super simple. So now I'm just going to go ahead and keep doing this until all of the stuffing and the shells is gone. I'm telling you guys, there is so many different ways to make stuffed shells. If you guys don't like sausage, you should definitely check out my other stuffed shells recipe. All you got to do is click that link on the top right corner of your screen. So now that I'm done stuffing all of these shells, I'm going to go ahead and add the remainder of that Ragu sauce on top of each shell, just making sure every shell is covered in sauce. All right, so once I'm done doing that, we are going to go ahead and add that cheese. I'm going to be adding a mixture of Parmesan, mozzarella, and cheddar cheese. Now you can use any cheese of your choice. This is just the cheeses that I like to use when I'm making stuffed shells. And once I'm done with that, I'm just going to go ahead and add some parsley on top. And guys, this is totally optional. It just makes your dish look prettier. Alright, so now that we're done preparing our stuffed shells, I'm going to pop this in the oven for 30 minutes on 350. After 30 minutes, this is what your stuffed shells will look like. And you could take it out the oven at this point. But if you're like me and you like it a little more crispy on the top, you want to broil this for about 1 to 3 minutes. Alright guys, now that we're done, I'm just going to cut into this so you guys can see what it looks like. And let me tell you guys, these shells are saucy, meaty, cheesy, and just downright delicious. I know you guys want to give this recipe a try. That's why I left the full recipe in the description box below. Do not forget to check that out. Also, you can follow me on Instagram at _cookingwithkiana. And make sure you tag me in the recipe. I would love to see how your creations come out. Also, if you guys love this recipe, subscribe to my channel. That way you do not miss new recipes every week, as well as giving this video a thumbs up. That way you can see more videos from me. Thanks for watching, and I will see you guys in the next video.